If you'd like to support this channel, please consider purchasing a copy of my book, Captain Steel and Other Stories, on Amazon, especially if you are a fan of speculative fiction. So about a month ago, the trailer for Hulu's Prey hit, and the Critical Drinker did a rather condescending video about it, more or less accusing it of being the same kind of feminist revisionist history sort of situation we've seen with other films, and the whole she don't need no man trope that we've seen lately. Now, there are tropes in this film, to be sure of. Anytime you have a period piece with a female protagonist, you're going to run into certain tropes. For example, she tries to defy the gender roles of her own society, but this is a very different film. This isn't, Amber Midthunder playing Naru. She's not Rey from Star Wars, and she's definitely not Michael Burnham from Secret Hideout Star Trek Discovery. This is a character who we can get behind. I would dare to say she's entered a tier of female protagonists that was occupied for many years by Sigourney Weaver in her Alien films, particularly the first two, and the pre-Dark Fate Linda Hamilton, Sarah Connor. This is a smart movie. It's a respectful movie. It doesn't sugarcoat anything in terms of the main character's motivation. The character of Naru is basically selfish. She wants to hunt, despite the fact that that's not her gender role within her society. And her gender role, the gender roles of the Comanche tribe that she's in are there for a reason. You generally want the best suited people to do those jobs, and so in order for her to prove that she should be hunting rather than just gathering herbs for cooking and medicinal purposes, she has to demonstrate it. And in history, any woman who has defied the gender role of her society has had to do that. They've had to be two things. They've had to have two things. They've had to be exceptional, and they also had to have an advocate on the other side. In this movie, her advocate is her brother. Her brother understands that she's really good at certain things, but the movie also shows that she's not so good at certain things. And in the scene, for example, where she joins the boys in, I say boys, they're men, they're braves, in killing a local lion, she ends up being a detriment to the party. Whether it's her fault or not is up to interpretation, but she was a liability. So you do kind of see the Braves' point of view here. She makes more work for them in that situation, but she's much better when she's by herself, and she has a few advantages they don't have. She uses a hunting dog, for example. This was a surprise, and I'm not going to comment on why this film is on Hulu as opposed to in theaters. I mean, I'm not privy to the the backstage dealings in studios and things like that. I'm not going to speculate, but this is definitely worth seeing, this movie. If you are a fan of particularly the Arnold Schwarzenegger film, you owe it to yourself to see this, because it's that kind of a story. It's a very intimate story with a very limited cast, and there's a great deal of historical accuracy in it. It's interesting that the only person in the entire movie, though, who smokes is a French fur trapper. He's got this cigar in his mouth. American kids were taught when I was growing up that smoking was given to us by the Native Americans. So, when she looks at the cigar, and doesn't really recognize it, I thought that was kind of interesting. I mean, the Indians didn't smoke cigars, they smoked pipes, but she should still recognize tobacco, I would think, especially since she's such an expert at herbs. But other than that, this is fine. She isn't superhumanly strong when fighting when fighting males, like Ruby Rose was in the Batwoman series. She's not throwing around 6 foot, 280-pound guys. She is utilizing the abilities that women have to defeat people. Speed, grace, and in her case, intelligence, and an ability to observe things and deduce things that are exceptional. I recommend this. This is a pretty dibbity-doo-dah good film.